Let's get into it. Really is, I think only one place to start, and that's somewhere in Middle America where winning streaks and rankings go to die. Final score, Creighton 85, UConn 66, just one day. After moving to number one in the top 25 in but 6 weeks after moving to number one in the AP top 25 poll, the reigning national champions trailed by as many as 21 in Omaha. They lost by 19. They got more or less done to them what they just did to Marquette over the weekend. So the Huskies are now a 3-loss team, just like Purdue, just like Houston. And when you take a fresh look at the bodies of work.
Oh, a fresh look.
What you'll find.
A fresh look?
What you're going to find if you take a fresh look, unless you're a goofy person, unless you're one of them goofy people who doesn't know what they're doing, unless you're a goofy fella or gal, if you take a fresh look at the bodies of work, what you're going to find is that Purdue now once again has the sport's best body of work. Welcome back to the top of the top 25 and 1, Zach Edey. Good to see you again. Deadleg, I saw you on X, formerly known as Twitter, last night, just before tip-off, predict that Creighton would upset UConn in the CHI Health Center. What made you so confident to pick against a team that had won 14 games in a row and just over the weekend looked like clearly the best team in the country?
Because good teams take losses on the road against other good teams all the time in college basketball. It wasn't even that outlandish.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't think it was that crazy. Now, UConn did get off to a 7-0 run there. But and I saw you on CBS Sports Network. I would disagree with your definition of this game. To me, a trap game is good team, bad team, good team, bad team in the middle is trap game. I know you're saying they were coming off Marquette, so there's a lot on that. I would not define this as a trap game. I would define this as the back end of like a really tough back-to-backer there. So I don't think like UConn got caught off guard. Also, Creighton was absurd. I mean, Creighton was, dude. They're shooting last night, and Stephen Ashworth, credit to him, 20 points. We've got the box score up right there. Just an outrageously good performance from Creighton on the whole, going 14 of 28 from three-point range. I mean, they had their best performance of the season and well-timed there. And to me, I'll get to this kind of more on the back end of the combo, I guess. I wonder if Creighton almost has a 3-seed body of work at this point. But the turnaround, Parrish. I mean, when these teams met a few weeks back, 62-48 UConn win. Creighton had 48 in the game. I mean, getting 85 on its home floor, the first win in school history over a top-ranked team. Congrats to Creighton on that. The second time it's ever won against a reigning national champ. I got trivia timed on HQ Spotlight Tuesday on this, and apparently the last time was sometime in the 40s. They didn't even give me the school it happened, but I was like, I'll say it was like UConn in 2015 after they won the title. Not the answer. So congrats to Creighton on that. Connecticut is oddly 0-21 in its last 21 road games against ranked competition. The last time UConn won on the road against a ranked team was in 2014 when it was in the American, and Memphis was the 17th ranked team in the country. And additionally, this was the largest loss, a 19-point loss for the Huskies. This was the largest loss by margin of victory. Trivia time! I wonder if you got this and if they gave it to you in the studio last night. The last time a number one team lost by as many as 19 points, when do you think it was?
First off, I gave it to them in the studio last night.
You did not.
People don't give it to me. I give it to them.
Did you? Okay. Tell the audience.
It was earlier this year.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You lose.
I thought you actually had it. I was
just getting cocky. I'm just getting cocky.
The last time a number one ranked team lost by as many as 19 points was UMBC beating Virginia by 20 in the tournament in 2018.
What are you suggesting? Let's stop here are you suggesting UConn should have never moved to number one?
No, not at all. Okay. I'm suggesting
that's what I was hearing.
Sometimes you get got. By the way, congrats to Greg McDermott. I think this was win number 600. No, there was a lot of factors in the game, and GP can obviously speak to what a lot of people are tuning in for, and maybe strutting all over the UConn corpse this morning. But
I wouldn't do that.
But listen, I thought
that's not my style.
It was a lot of it was Creighton, and in fact, credit UConn. They got it to 10 with like 4 and change to go in the game. Tristan Newton, if you want a bright spot, I mean, he goes for 27, had 12 boards, and played extremely well in this game. Klingon was just okay. They, you can call that a neutralized situation between him and Kalkbrenner. But overall, Creighton's defense was tremendous. They didn't let Caravan become a factor. They didn't let Stephon Castle, who had 4 fouls, become a factor, and really eliminated UConn's ability to use its bench whatsoever. And that led to just a 3 of 16 3-point display from the Huskies, GP. That was their worst of the season. And so a lot of factors confluencing upon each other there. Yeah, it's surprising to see the team that's played like the best team in the country this season get completely sideswiped. But, sometimes this happens. And a great environment in Omaha. As I was watching all this on Tuesday night, I was like, man, here we are right now, middle of the season. Like, we're going to get to middle of June and just be aching for college basketball games. Like, stop, take a look around. This is great times right now before we even get to March. It was a fun night. And look at you. Not all of 48 hours, and then we're back to where we were. Congratulations, sir. You got your Purdue Boilermakers back on top.
Few different things. One, on the trap game thing, you might be right. That might be the wrong term to use. What I was trying to illustrate is they were obviously up and operating at an extremely unusual level over the weekend against Marquette. You would acknowledge that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's just I was just picking nits there. That's all.
No, I'm agreeing with you. So they had to get up in an unusual way on Saturday, and I mean, they were shot out of a cannon. And to win at Creighton 3 days later, you were going to have to come with that same type of intensity and energy. And it's just hard to do that in back-to-back games. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I got you.
On the 0 of 21 against ranked teams on the road, that streak, how well known is that throughout college basketball? I know it's well known now because it was just everywhere last night. How well known was it, say, last week?
Probably not that well known, but I remembered last season bringing this up on the pod and probably referencing it in a court report once or twice that it had been building because they took that dip in January and it had been, since they joined the Big East, they had not won a road game. And in fact, it had gone back to their early points in the American. So I don't know how well known, but it had been discussed at certain points.
Okay. So we were in studio last night and the incredible research crew, the back row, as we call them, they've got this in the notes, right? And somebody's just reading through the notes and, they go, lost 20 straight. This is before the game.
Yeah.
UConn hadn't beaten a ranked team on the road since 2014. Is that right? And somebody else says, that doesn't sound right. Because it just doesn't. It sounds impossible.
It does.
Like
2 national titles since the last time they won on the road against a ranked team.
They've won 2 national titles. They've had multiple 14-game winning streaks. They've been ranked number 1 in the country. How? Like LSU, which is 5-7 in the SEC, beat a ranked team on the road this past weekend.
I know.
Okay? This stuff happens all the time. Just accidentally. You don't even mean to do it. Like LSU wasn't trying to beat a ranked team on the road this weekend.
I actually think that they were. I
don't think they were.
I do believe I'm going to give Matt McMahon's group credit. They're going through it there. I think they were trying to win the game.
I don't think they were. I don't think they cared. Okay, I don't think. I think they're
LSU on somehow making it into the podcast. By the way,
it's the first time we've got to LSU this season. It's good to have them back.
Yeah.
It's good. It's first time back since strong ass offer. Good, good to see you. Good to see you. How you been? I don't think they were trying. I think they're more interested in increasing their lottery odds.
Okay.
But they did. They just looked up and it's like, oh wow, I guess we just beat South Carolina at South Carolina. I guess we just beat a ranked team on the road. Anything else we can do that UConn can't do? It just like it is. It's a little bit like once upon a time, Arkansas used to go to the Sweet 16 every year, and then they just never did it for like 2 decades.
1996, as first reported here on the On College Basketball Podcast.
Okay, and that one just like made no sense.
I know.
Like if you'd have stopped in time and at some like after Arkansas was in back-to-back Final Fours and said you're never going to the Sweet 16 again for like ever, you'd be like, it doesn't even make any sense. This one is like that in the sense that it doesn't unless you know it's true. unless if somebody presented it to you, you would say that can't possibly be true.
It is an oddity. They're going to have another shot because they got Marquette coming up here in a little bit, and we'll see if they can finally pull that one off and get it done. And this is also coming on the heels of UConn on Monday. It's been number one plenty of times before. It had never been a unanimous number one team in the AP Top 25. So this week was the first time. Then promptly it'll probably get booted from that. The poll question right now, by the way, for our live viewers is, who do you, live viewers, think should be number one in the country or is the number one team? And obviously UConn, Purdue, and Houston is in that conversation. We'll get to the Cougars in just a second. Any other takeaways from the game or just the doings that happened there on Tuesday night, GP?
Well, the game was the game. Like you said, it's not like they were down 11-2 to start. They were up 7-0 to start. They scored the first 3 baskets of the game, and it looked like, okay, they're ready. Oh, wow, here they go. And I don't know if you saw the clip, but before the game, we were in studio, and it's like, so who you got? And I was like, I guess I'll take UConn. They've been playing at an extremely high level. And then we come back, and UConn's down pretty big, and that's where the clip was, where I said, yeah, it looked like a trap game. And Wally Zerbiak is like, well, then why didn't you pick UConn? Yeah. And I'm being completely honest. This is exactly why I didn't pick UConn, because Zoe, God bless her, she's the best. The second I say, I think UConn's.
No one, you say this. No one. Zoe runs our social media for CBS Sports College Hoops.
She's a star. Yeah. All right. And the second I say on TV, I think UConn's 14-game winning streak is coming to an end tonight. Zoe's going to clip that. She'll clip it before I even say it. Yeah, she somehow knows what I'm going to say, right? And she'll have it clipped before I even say it. And then it's going to be on social media. And then I just was trying to. I'm never playing best case scenario. I'm only playing worst, trying to avoid worse. I'm not shooting for best. I'm just trying to avoid worse. And so, because best would have been like, hey, I tried to tell you idiots for a while. Watch what happens tonight. That would have been the best, okay? But I couldn't
just say that tonight on CBS Sports Network. I don't care about what it is. Just invoke that. All right.
So I was trying to avoid the worst case scenario was me saying I just think UConn's 14-game winning streak, it comes to an end tonight, and then UConn goes out and jumps to a 21-3 lead at Creighton. Zoe's done clipped it. It's been now I'm back in it. No escalators is on my throat. It's just I couldn't deal with it again. That is genuinely why I didn't pick Creighton.
Okay, so you're doing it out of fear of backlash from viewers. Okay,
I'm dealing with
yourself and your convictions, and don't worry about your mentions. How many times do I have to tell you this?
Yeah, I don't have convictions anymore. I used to have them. It didn't work out for me. Feeling strongly about stuff didn't work out for me so well. Hey, I saw this from our buddy Jared Burson. He invented ESPN Stats and Info.
He did not. Go ahead.
He invented it, created it from nothing.
Does not work there anymore, by the way.
No, he owns it. And how about this?
This isn't. I think I know what you're going to say. This is a ridiculous note.
It's what Jared Burson was.
This the one about the teams in Nebraska. This is
what Jared Burson was made for.
Yeah.
This is why. I don't know if you believe in God or not, but if you do, this is why God created Jared Burson, for stuff like this. Okay. He said Creighton beat number 1 UConn by 19 last night. Nebraska beat number 1 Purdue by 16 on January 9th. And it is the first time ever that 2 different schools from the same state beat the number 1 team by 15 plus points in the same season. Nebraska, the home of college basketball. Put it on a license plate.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Nebraska, where number 1 teams go to die.
As you rebuilt your top 25 and 1 overnight, I pointed out at the time it happened. This is true now. Wisconsin's there as well. Most quad 1 and quad 2 combined victories in the country as of this morning. Purdue's got 15. UConn's got 13. Sitting there in third place is 2 teams that won on Tuesday. Creighton and Wisconsin both have 12 apiece. GP, does Creighton have a 3-seed resume at this point? Or are they still maybe sitting there as potentially the best 4-seed on the board, in your opinion?
I jumped them up to number 9 in the top 25 and 1. If you take a fresh look at their resume, that's where I landed with them. And 9 equates to a 3-seed. Dead leg. We're finally seeing eye to eye on this stuff. We're finally
thinking that Creighton's a good team after doubting this team for like the first 2.5 months of the season. So
well, they gave me reason.
I quote Gary Parrish. Is Creighton even any good?
Well, it's a reasonable question to ask sometimes.